Let's get to it, everyone. Perhaps your biggest political story in the land today is that convicted the Chief Justice of Nigeria, they suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, and the chairman of the Nigerian Judiciary, the #1 man, has been convicted there after the CCT has been found guilty of false asset declaration. The court also ordered his immediate removal from office and banned him from holding public office for the next 10 years. The tribunal also ordered that he forfeit all 5 accounts said not to have been declared by him between 2009 and 2015 to the federal government based on the fact that he failed to show the tribunal how he acquired the monies in that account. The CCT had accused the embattled CGN of 5 counts of failing to declare his asset to the Code of Conduct Bureau. The National Judicial Council had earlier recommended his retirement to the president after the sitting council to Justice Onnoghen told journalists that he would appeal the ruling. On January 7th, if you look at the timeline of how this trial began and up to this moment, take a look at some of the important dates you need to take note of. So I will remind you, it started on the 7th of January when a civil society organization, RD, petitioned the Code of Conduct Tribunal on the issues of non-declaration of assets of the CGN. The CCB announced that it had filed a 6-count charge against Onnoghen and the CCT. So if you look at it from January the 12th to January the 14th, January the 22nd, issues and issues upon issues, trailing these trial until the trial opened at the CCT and the case went on. The suspended CGN opened his defense, and at the end of the day, today made the day when the CCT says the suspended CGN is guilty. Let's see for a moment, before we get into our main topic of today, let's see what some of my guests tonight make of the CCT judgment on Justice Walter Onnoghen. Let me introduce you to my panel tonight on the program. Professor Tunji Olaopa is a political scientist and a public administrator, and also is the chairman of the Ibadan School of Policies. He joins us here in our Lagos studio. From our Abuja studio is Honorable West Idahosa, a former member of the House of Representatives and a lawyer. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on today.
Thank you, sir.
How does this come to you? Justice Walter Onnoghen, the #1 man in the judiciary, being convicted of not falsely declaring his assets.
It sets one thinking. It's novel. It's unfortunate. But we've seen the drama. We've seen the political dimensions. Now we have seen the substantive. And for me, going forward, are we opening a road for a reform of a very critical institution that will take us from era of impunity to deep-seated rule of law? If that is what we're about to see, it's unfortunate that someone has to be a victim of all of that. And I like to say this, and that's the pity we all have for Justice Onnoghen, is that Nigeria has been run within a culture of public service that was very permissive, that allowed a bit of liberalism, where you could commit, very innocent errors. But we're about to witness that there is a rule, there is regulation. So, and if you fall short of the law, it does not matter the level that you are.
In law, I mean, the implications of what has happened to Justice Onnoghen today is severe for a civil servant, a judicial officer like him. Let me bring in Honorable West Idahosa to the conversation. He's a lawyer and is being in the National Assembly, an arm of government. For the #1 man in the judiciary getting this kind of whip on the side of the law, the implications for the Nigerian judiciary, a big lesson, isn't it?
Well, it might be a lesson, but it's a lesson in tragic circumstances. You have to appreciate the fact that the substantive law in any land is as important as the procedural law in the land. You cannot reach justice without going through the route of justice. And I must say sincerely that it looks more like an orchestration to get Onnoghen to a quick conviction. And that's very sad. But significantly, I have to say that I do not accept and I do not agree with the views of the Code of Conduct Bureau Tribunal with respect to overruling itself on its decision in Unguta and failing to take recognition of the superior decision of the Court of Appeal in the Ngajiwa case. I don't think the Code of Conduct Tribunal is an island. It is bound by decisions of superior courts because its decision is subject to the Court of Appeal. It cannot be an island. So in all honesty, I would say the procedure was warped, having disregarded the fact that Onnoghen was a serving judicial officer and was therefore subject first to the disciplinary measures of the NJC, and thereafter, if he was found guilty, the NJC will strip him of his judicial color and then surrender him to the appropriate arm of government for disciplinary measures.
Quickly, if you weigh in on this one in this manner, in this light, so he's going to appeal the case. That's what we're hearing. For the judiciary, a lot of senior lawyers said there is a rampant corruption in the bench and in the bar also. Could this be a sort of a process to start that kind of cleansing of a corrupt portion of the judiciary?
Well, that is speculative. There's no doubt that there have been allegations of corruption in the judiciary as it is with other arms of government. But the point we are making is that because we are not in a banana republic, we must be very clear on the rules that govern discipline in our country. We do not subject people arbitrarily or against the provisions of our supreme law, the Constitution, to discipline, unless, of course, we have other methods of reaching justice without following the law. So whether at the bar or at the judiciary, all allegations of corruption must go through due process and, if found guilty, will be and ought to be adequately punished.
All right.
That's my take on this matter.